This is Mike Fish from Minnesota Real Estate and Management, and today we're going to talk about an issue that's important for buyers to understand and really important for newer agents to understand as well. I was talking to an agent who's, I should say an agent, yeah, someone studying to get their license a couple of days ago, and I was saying there's certain things that are basically learned over time, and most of the newer agents are successful because they're partnering up in a team or finding a mentor to kind of fill in all those gaps, right? And so the pre-approval, pre-qualification, back in the day, as I put it, we were more likely to say, oh, if you're pre-qualified, we're going to go show you a bunch of houses and we'll see what happens, right? Especially a newer agent is basically like, oh, you're a person and you want to look at houses, let's go, right? In this market, it's really very important to get pre-approved. And the bottom line is it's about trust with the agent, with the seller agent, and with the sellers, right? So people who are pre-qualified, it's basically the loan officer going, yep, I've looked at your stuff, you're good to go, I think I can get you a loan, right? And the reality of it is, through that process, over 20% of people who are pre-qualified, once they go to get pre-approved, find out, oh, but this or this or this prevents them from getting the loan and they can't buy the property. Over 20%. People who are pre-approved, it's about 3%, 2 to 3%. So if you were a seller, you'd be going, I don't want to give the time of day to, a buyer who maybe can put an offer in, right? So getting that full pre-approval is just so important, and it is for the agent too. A lot of agents will show you 20 houses because, gee golly, they've got a live body, they're walking through houses, and maybe at some point they'll get a deal, right? I was certainly more that way when I got into this. But what does that say about the agent? Right? Now, the other side of that is an agent going, before I lift a finger, I want A, B, C, and D, and I want this and that, and I want a guarantee. Like, that's the other side of it, right? Like, I've always been willing to show people houses. One of my favorite things to do, is go look at 10 houses with a buyer, right? But it is important to go through the work up front, to get pre-approved. And then we're talking looking at tax statements, pay stubs, bank statements, credit reports, and then I always say window shopping is fun until you fall in love with something and then find out you can't buy it, right? So there's a little bit of room there, depending if you're honest with a buyer agent. But the reality is you're much better off uncovering things up front, going through the work up front. Then you're going to find a good buyer agent that's willing to really invest, in getting you the right place. And you're going to find, seller agents and sellers that trust you more. We're already up against that appraisal in this market, right? Making sure something's going to appraise out. The last thing we need is to have that big unknown that, yep, this is a buyer, they may be interested. And then the other issue is, when you find the house you want to put an offer in, you're scrambling to get pre-approved for 2-3 days, depending on the loan officer, if not longer, between getting them paperwork, and you can lose the house in the first place. So it's so much better doing the work up front, getting pre-approved. Not that I won't, to this day, not that I won't show a buyer, that's pre-qualified a few properties, to build that trust and build that relationship, and for people I've worked with before and people I know, it's very different because I know their situation a bit. But in general, you want to go through the work of getting pre-approved. So this is Mike Fish from Minnesota Real Estate and Management. Reach out anytime if you've got any questions about getting pre-approved. We've got a network of local people we work with and some national people that are in different niches and do some great work. We can certainly send you some folks to help you. But I always say, if you've got a relationship with a bank and you've got somebody you already work with and trust, you should stay with them unless there's some issue that comes up. So again, this is Mike Fish. Depending on where you're seeing this, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, stay in touch. We would love to earn your trust and your business. Thank you.